Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Rodriguez, I'm sure you're familiar with FBI Director Comey's testimony, or last year he told the House that the federal government could not guarantee that refugee applicants from Syria were not terrorists. And indeed, he said, quote, "If someone has never made a ripple in the pond in Syria in a way that would get their identity or their interest reflected in our database, we can query our database until the cows come home, but there will be nothing to show up because we have no record on them." Do you agree with the head of the FBI that we cannot vet these refugees to make sure that they're not terrorists?
I agree with the quote. I don't agree that that extends to, quote, we cannot vet the refugees. In fact, I think there's extensive evidence that we can vet the refugees.
And how successful do you think that vetting has been?
Again, I point to the fact that 7% of all Syrian applicants, we're just taking that particularly concerning group as the example, have been denied either because information about them has arisen in various law enforcement or intelligence databases, or because during the course of interview we have determined them to not be credible. Roughly double that number, perhaps a little bit less, placed on hold, no action taken on their...
But Mr. Rodriguez, with all respect, that's an odd measure to say the vetting's successful because we've turned some people down.
Turned a lot of people down.
Well, let's ask, if vetting is successful, it is preventing terrorists from coming to America. So let me ask it a different way. In the 8 years of the Obama administration, how many refugees admitted to this country have been implicated in terrorism?
We've talked about this during the hearing. There have been a number of cases. Most of them.
How many? I'm asking.
I don't know I can't tell you the exact number. I know that the number is, to your point, significant.
Let me ask you, why can't you tell me the exact number? If you're concerned about if the vetting is working, I would think the Department of Homeland Security would have every incentive to know every single instance.
I think what really matters in the discussion about these cases is looking at those cases and determining if there are things that we should have done differently. That is one of the reasons, for example, that the interagency checks were implemented. Lessons that were learned because of admissions that occurred a while ago resulted in changes. So every single time a new case arises, that is a discussion that I have, that is a discussion my staff has, our intelligence partners, about what could we do differently in order for there to be an improvement in the way we do.
So I agree that learning from the mistakes of the past is important. And so I'm going to ask you, will you provide this committee in writing with an answer to my question, specifically the number of how many refugees admitted in the last 8 years have been implicated in terrorism?
As best we can, we will respond to your questions.
Okay. I can tell you from the public domain, we're aware of at least 20 individuals, but there may be far more because these are public domain and you have records that we don't have access to.
Yeah, I think Senator Sessions has identified about 40 cases actually, so we can go through those.
And there are instances, 2 in my home state of Texas just recently. In January of 2016, Omar Faraj Saeed al-Hardan was charged in an indictment with attempting to provide material support to a foreign terrorist organization, making false statements and attempting to procure citizenship or naturalization unlawfully. And al-Hardan was a Palestinian born in Iraq. He was admitted to the United States as a refugee in 2009, and he obtained a green card in 2011. And according to media accounts, al-Hardan told his wife, "I will go to Syria. I want to blow myself up. I am against America." In your view, did the vetting process work well, admitting al-Hardan as a refugee?
I wouldn't speak to a specific case. Obviously, if there was derogatory information that we missed, that is an area of concern about that specific case. I won't speak about that one. I will say that we review every new case and ask ourselves, is there something that we should have done differently?
Another instance also in Texas on February 5th, 2015, Abdinasser Muhammad Ibrahim was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison for conspiring to provide material support to al-Shabaab, a designated foreign terrorist network, and for making false statements in immigration paperwork. Now, Ibrahim is a native of Somalia, came as a refugee in 2007 at the age of 22, and was subsequently given a green card. We keep seeing instances over and over again of refugees coming to America with an intention to engage in terrorism. And ISIS has made clear that they intend to exploit our refugee program, to send terrorists to America to commit murder, to murder innocent Americans. How can you assure the American people that we are not right now admitting more terrorists who would wage jihad against our nation?
Because we conduct the process in a manner that is designed to do everything within our power to screen out individuals who mean us harm, beginning with the screening criteria that are given to UNHCR, the fact that people are interviewed multiple times before even one of my officers sees them.
But the interviews aren't catching these individuals. We're letting them in.
There are those cases. There are also a number of cases where we've stopped people from traveling to the United States. And what I'm telling you is, as time has gone on, the process has become better and better. There are things that we are doing today that we weren't doing 2 years ago. There are even some things we're doing now that we weren't doing a year ago. And so we are continuing to strengthen the process further and further so that we can, in fact, have the highest possible. It's not going to eliminate all risk, but we are doing it so that we can have the highest level of confidence that we can, that we are not admitting threats to the United States.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Senator Cruz.